Hi, excursionists. Guess what? This week is the 1-year anniversary of the Into the Night Anthology podcast. Can you believe we have been walking this twisted path together for a year now? This would not have been possible without all of you. Thank you for joining me every other week for the past year, and I hope you continue to join me far into the future. Welcome to Into the Night. I'm Nari, your guide on today's excursion down a twisted path. Be careful not to get lost. Be it dark or light, it's easy to lose your way. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Memory Lane. Evangeline Moore brushed the wisps of her brown hair out of her eyes as she sailed down Concord Avenue on her bicycle. This old bike took her wherever she wanted to go, and she smiled as the familiar places of her youth passed by while she picked up speed. "Be careful, Evie," her father always cautioned her. "You have the heart of a lion, and I'm afraid you're going to hurt yourself one day on that contraption." "That's impossible, Daddy. My bicycle is my freedom." Freedom. Yes, this old bicycle was her freedom. Whenever she felt down or useless, she hopped on her trusty bike and pedaled. All her cares slipped away as she rode to her heart's content. She remembered her first real bicycle. It had training wheels, and she was 4 that Christmas. More than anything that year, she wanted a bike so she could keep up with her 3 siblings. Looking back, she wasn't sure how her parents raised 4 children on her father's paycheck, let alone bought them the presents they desired most. But they managed. Having grown older and wiser, she now guessed that Grandma Wilson had her hand in the gift-getting. It was a testament to Granny's character that she never wanted credit if she had in fact bought those presents. All Evangeline knew for certain was that her family loved her. What she wouldn't give to ride bikes with Sally, Dot, and Mac again. Their absence was the only drawback to her solitary bike rides. She couldn't bring the people she missed along with her these days. She could, however, take rides down memory lane, where she heard the peals of their laughter and the whirring of their wheels as they raced each other to Sutter's Orchard or to the top of Crabapple Hill. On especially daring trips, they took moonlight rides around the perimeter of the cemetery. That, of course, didn't happen until their teenage years. Their parents would have killed them for being out at that hour. So the 4 had developed a system for leaving their home undetected. Evangeline laughed out loud at their antics. They were brave, and they were daring. That was for sure. Mac bragged that they came from pioneer stock, and that's what made them fearless. Not a one of them turned down some wholesome fun when they could find it. Turning right, she rode past the barbershop, the grocer, and Doc Gower's office. She winced at the thought of the time she'd fallen from the top of their maple tree, and Doc Gower had to reset her arm. Glancing down at her tanned, smooth skin, the white of the scar near her elbow was a reminder of that mishap. She swore she could still feel the pain and hear the sounds as the gentle doctor manhandled her arm back into place. That was one memory she did not care to relive. Up ahead, a cottontail hopped across the road in front of her. Then it stopped to stare at her while sitting on its hind legs. It was early summer, and she had a suspicion that the bunny came from Mildred McKinney's garden. "Little one, I won't hurt you, but I can't make any promises about old Mildred. She's got buckshot waiting for you if you're not careful." Evangeline slowed to watch the rabbit. It cocked its head, almost as if it considered her advice. A neighborhood dog barked, spooking the cottontail just enough that it decided to hop along. Evangeline, in turn, quickened her pace. Her hometown hadn't changed a bit, and she wanted to take in all of her favorite spots before her ride was over. She turned the corner and saw one of her special places. The glorious oak tree stood as it always had, just as it stood the night Jacob Moore kissed her for the first time. Butterflies took flight in Evangeline's heart as she thought of that warm summer evening. There's nothing like true love. If she listened carefully, she could hear the birds sing the same as they had the night Jacob swore he'd love her forever. And he had, at least until his plane was shot down during the war. The diamonds on her wedding ring lit up as brightly as her heart did whenever she thought of that sweet man. Evangeline wiped a tear, blew a kiss at the tree, and rode past. There's no sense in dwelling there. Her memories with Jacob would always be just as vivid. Next, she rode down Culver Hill and past the schoolyard. Oh, the fun she and her classmates had. The swings, the monkey bars, the teeter-totter. Now those were some good times. Kids these days, they just don't know what they're missing with their noses stuck to a screen. She was half tempted to hop off her bike and try out the swing herself, but she thought better of it. She needed to stay on her bike. It was enough to catch a look at the recess yard. The church bell tolled noon, and she knew what that meant. It was time to return home. She didn't dare have Lena arrive at the house while she was gone. Too many questions. Too much unnecessary prying. My daughter seems to think I can't take care of myself. Evangeline wasted no time pedaling home, wind whipping past her as she breathed deeply. The rides did so much for her. Exercise is important, her mother always said. She slowed as she approached her house, relieved that Lena had yet to arrive. Leaning her bicycle against the yellow wall by her garden gate, she slowly made her way up the steps and into her kitchen. I'd best fix my hair before she gets here. Evangeline looked into the mirror. The wrinkled old woman staring back at her reminded her of her grandmother. Her wizened hands, knuckles swollen from arthritis, grasped the brush as she untangled her long gray hair. Gone were her youthful arms and legs. Gone was the burst of energy she had while riding her special bicycle. Someday, yes, someday, I will tell Lena about my little secret. She, too, will use my magic bicycle to go down her own memory lane. Her daughter rapped gently at the front door. Mom, are you ready for me to take you shopping? Yes, dear, I'm coming. For now, though, it's okay for this old girl to keep this secret to herself. Thank you for joining me for Into the Night, an anthology series written by Caroline Giammanco, narrated and produced by Nari Kwak, with music created by Alex Sexton. Theme music by Nico Rodriguez. Our links are in the show notes. Into the Night is available on your favorite podcast directory, so be sure to subscribe and follow so you never miss an episode. We would really appreciate a 5-star review, as it helps new excursionists to find and join us. Feel free to share with someone you want to bring along on our next excursion. I'd love to hear from you on Twitter at IntoTheNightPod or by email at itnanthology@gmail.com. I'll see you next time. And remember, whether in the shadows or in the daylight, all twisted paths lead you into the night. Thanks for staying. While you're here, I want to share another amazing podcast with you. You know I love a good story, and these 5 wonderful humans tell a very captivating one. Sail the high seas for adventure and misadventure with Royal Britannia.
You asked me once to tell you the greatest tale of all time.
Are you fellers new here?
Gave us away.
Yeah. The fact that I've never seen you before. That's...
They're never short of adventures, confusion, or just good old-fashioned banter.
Any ideas as to what we should be doing?
No, you will die.
I can't deal with this.
Yeah, roll better. Be better at D&D.
I'm having some sort of vision.
Covered in blood, I'm in turmoil.
So follow our Buccaneers wherever you want to listen for new tales every Wednesday as they set sail and roll Britannia.
Could be a hedgehog. I have heard of them.
Prickly.